It's a new dawn, a fresh start to life. The wave of electoral activities that permeated and characterized the beginning of 2019 in Nigeria ushered in a new political dispensation, and Lagos State was not exempted from the whole transition. This transition unveiled the new man duly elected to take over the reins of power in Lagos State, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. And now that the dusts have settled, he hit the ground running by identifying areas needing urgent attention and revealing innovative ideas with which to tackle them. Welcome to The Governor This Week. I am Lekan Onabanjo. The new governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, officially took over as the 6th democratically elected governor and 15th governor of Lagos State, promising to make the state even greater. Sanwo-Olu was sworn in by the former state's Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Okpeyemi Oke, shortly after his deputy, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, took the oath of office at the Tafawa Balewa Square, Onikan, Lagos. Immediately after inspecting the guard of honor, the governor delivered his inaugural speech, tagged Awakening a Greater Lagos, saying that the change of guard in the state marked the beginning of a new chapter in the journey to greatness.
I, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, do solemnly swear that as the governor of Lagos State, I will discharge my duties faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, the integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of Lagos State of Nigeria. I, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. By the grace of Almighty God and your vote, I stand here today as your governor. This day marks the beginning of a new chapter in our journey to greatness. Today, I ask you to join me on this journey to awaken a greater Lagos. When we speak of a greater Lagos, we speak not of empty words. It is a deep and profound assertion we mean. We intend to take and make history by making ourselves and our children a better future. Lagos must rise and help us lead into a nation that is fuller of progress and is closer to realization of the greatness that exists within all Nigeria. This inauguration symbolizes such an awakening. Today, I stand before you as your governor, but also as your friend, your brother, your neighbor, and your servant. I stand here to ask that you join me to script and fashion this great Lagos with creativity of our minds. The Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu you see today shall not change or try to become something I am not. My prayer is that I grow and I improve as your governor to implement good policies and bring about prosperity you all deserve. My goal is to advance the social and economic progress of this state and its people, regardless of your faith, regardless of your social class or your origin of birth. As long as you adopt the script of Lagos, Lagos will in turn adopt you. I shall select the best and the most qualified people to hold positions of authority in our government. My door shall remain open. I shall seek the advice of the learned, the wise and the ordinary Lagosians. For all the common man that recites much wisdom and fairness of thought. Let us join our hands in this noble journey as we strive to birth and nurture a greater Lagos. However, make no mistake, the success of development agenda must be a shared and collective responsibility. I implore you all as Lagosians to rededicate ourselves to contribute our individual quarters positively and responsively in all new drive to reform our society and take it to a greater height. With your help, I know that we will make Lagos a greater Lagos and will make it even greater. Indeed, our best days lies ahead of us. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Lagos State. God bless all of you. I want to say thank you and thank you and thank you again. Thank you and God bless.
Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu embarked on a formalization tour of offices in the Secretariat Alausa. He met with civil servants and permanent secretaries and was patient enough to have a first-time rapport with them. While engaging the workers, he urged them to brace up and contribute the quota to the development of the state, saying that they must imbibe the right attitude to work.
I'm really excited to be here this morning. Truly excited. I can see all the faces that are pumped up with energy, that are looking up to serve the teeming Lagosians out there. We decided to come here first because we realize, even if they say that you are half out of campus, I know that this is the real campus. I know so because the critical arm that you control here, the environment, the land department, fiscal planning, these are the critical things that people of your general's office, these are the critical things that people are asking of us to do better. So we will from day one begin to say to Lagosians that new things will begin to happen. Yes, there are issues. And that's why in world there's a word called issue. That's why there's a word called issue. There will be issues. There will be challenges. But out of it, looking at all your faces, you cannot afford for us at this time to fail the citizens. So my charge is this. Whatever we know that we're not doing so well, even in the period of Ramadan, let's even ask God for forgiveness and say that, you know what, I will not do this again. And let us also turn a new leaf. And let us now be that change that we're asking for. And I can assure you, the moment you can begin to do that, you and I will make sure that your life will never be. Because I know that when we take care of you, you will take care of Lagos. So those are the promises I want to draw from all of you. Right? That there are no challenges, I know. I know there is not enough light. I know there is not enough chairs. There is not enough benches. I know. Because I have been here before. But let us begin to think and innovate how we're going to build a bigger cake. Let us begin to think out of the box. How we're going to bake a bigger cake. Once you bake a bigger cake, it becomes a lot available for a lot of us to eat up. Issues around minimum age, we're going to sort it out very soon. We're going to sort it out. And I will make sure that while you do the work that you are meant to do, your take-home will be taking you home. But the Lagosians have to feel it from day one. From the way we speak to them, from the way we take their records, from the way we ensure that those things that we do not want, from Monday we begin to reflect it. Okay? I'll see you guys. I love you all.
The 5 Pillars of Development Agenda for Lagos State called themes has been unveiled by the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, representing traffic management and transportation, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment and tourism, as well as security and governance. Governor Sanwo-Olu said the agenda is aimed at solving the myriads of challenges facing the state and consolidating on pre-existing achievements. He urged members of the public to ensure the successful operation of the agenda and comply with all traffic rules and regulations. The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, signed his first executive order in the presence of security chiefs and the heads of relevant agencies in the state to address the issue of traffic control and management, fixing of potholes on the roads, sanitation, as well as cleaning of drainages in the state, while seeking the support and cooperation of military personnel on implementation. The order, which translates into zero tolerance for environmental abuse, illegal and indiscriminate dumping of refuse, also addresses the construction of structures on drainage points and setbacks.
It's a very simple but very symbolic event that I just want to do. It's just 2 minutes assignment. Today is our first day in the office, and we think we need to make the point that all of the issues happening around transportation, traffic management, potholes on our roads, drainage management, blockages and rest of it, I think it's something we need to begin to tackle immediately. And what we have that I'm going to be putting my signature to now is the first executive order. The executive order is to ensure that from today, we want to have zero tolerance on indiscriminate dumping of refuse, blockages of our waterways and channels. We want to ensure that the Office of Drainage Services, that is the Ministry of Environment, immediately begin to live up to their responsibility. LASMA, we're going to ensure that we extend the working time for LASMA. LASMA is now meant to have at the minimum 2 shifts, and we'll expect that there will still be traffic control to get people real home up until 11 p.m. We want to ensure that we'll have the men out there, that we're controlling traffic until we get almost everybody back home safely. And all of the enforcement by law that we currently have, we're giving you all the support to get your men back on track, and let us continue to enforce those laws. Let us continue to enforce those laws and bring all our people on board. The public works, we're going to be giving them instruction to start immediately potholes on our roads, all of the patches they need to do immediately. We're giving them instruction to that effect. And to ensure that men of LISEC, environmental issues, disorder, we're not necessarily saying that we are going to be arresting everybody and anybody, but let us just be able to communicate to our men. The ones that we need to reprimand, let us reprimand. The people that we need to advise, let us advise. The people that we need to further re-inform, let us inform them. It's only when we know that we've done all of that and they need to be brought to full law that we need to implement, that. And so let's put a human face to our roles. VIO, we're not saying that you should go out and begin to arrest vehicles that, for whatever reason, they have blockage on the road or they have a broken down vehicle. Yes, we know, but it's because it's rainy season, right? So it should be more communicative and adversarial. Issues around wipers, spare tires, jacks, these are things you need to now begin to communicate to people that we're getting into the rainy season, you must ensure that your wipers are working. You must ensure that you have a spare tire. You must ensure that your spanners are working, so that if things happen, because there are going to be vehicles breaking down, that they can very quickly be able to take them off the road. Right. I know LASMA has issues around PSPs working with them on the towing vehicles. Let's bring up whatever your recommendations are in this regard, so that there is quicker response when we have broken downs on the road. How can we quickly get them off the road? Rains are going to be fast coming now, right? So we must begin to prepare hard and well for this. You know, the LUR, the Lagos Response Unit, I imagine are meant to be working together, you know, in terms of response and all of it. We must ensure that all of the things they need, right, they're up and going with it. When you call them on responses, they answer to you. The Lagosians are not going to wait, you know, any longer for us. So that's why I've invited, you know, all of the various service chiefs to hear us and to be able to support us, you know, because we also know that they have responsible men as well. So we're communicating amongst ourselves, you know, so that, you know, nobody will be above the law. I'm going to make another pronouncement around one-way driving, you know, not having proper road signals. We're going to come up with that very short. But this is for LASMA to know that all of your laws, right, that you have, let us begin to implement and enforce them fully. That's what we've come here to do. And that information must go out immediately. Thank you very much. So I will invite the GM LASMA to join us. I will invite the GM, the uniformed, yes, please join us. And I'll invite all my service chiefs to also join me here whilst we sign this executive order, and we'll just make it, you know, a public pronouncement. Thank you very much.
The Ministry of Home Affairs and Culture, Lagos State, organized a special inauguration Jamaat service for the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and while being accompanied by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, and other top government officials, the governor partook in the spiritual exercise at the Lagos State Secretariat Mosque in Alausa to pray for the success of the new administration. The governor used the opportunity to solicit the support of religious leaders in bringing about behavioral changes among their followers in order to sanitize the roads and environment.
We thank God for sparing our lives till today. We are just finished prayers to thank God for Wednesday's event. And one of the things we said inside was today's prayer is also very special. It's special for 2-3 reasons. One, our inauguration took place in the month of Ramadan. We believe is very divine. That's very symbolic. Secondly, it's also within the last 10 days of the Ramadan. And thirdly, it's also the last Friday before the end of Ramadan itself. So the prayers that have been offered today are very symbolic. And we're grateful that we could be part of it. And we had wished everybody the very best of the good wishes they've given to His Excellency Deputy Governor and I and our families. And we have also used the opportunity very appropriately to say that we will continue to consult our various houses of worship. We have come to the mosque today, and we had challenged our clerics to say that we'll be coming back on issues around waste management. Because we also said it that we know that the congregation believe them. So we'll bring bags of waste management to come and show them the different colors that we'll be using for waste sorting. And that once they help us to propagate it, right, the message will go down. And it's something that we're going to be giving out once we finish the production and we'll finish all of the arrangements. We also talked about traffic management and people, how we need to, you know, obey traffic rules, ensure that we're not driving against traffic, obey traffic officers, and just simple things like that as human beings, as individuals, so that we take the message to our people through them
through their various voices so that we can begin to see the change that we're talking about. It can't be only the deputy and I. It can't be only the civil service. It's the whole population of Lagosians. So we need to hear it from different strata of stakeholders. They are an important stakeholder. Our religious fathers, they are important stakeholders. And we appreciate and we recognize them in our government. And so that's why we've also mentioned that. And we thank God that all the prayers they've said to us, it will also go on the head of everybody. That's been in synopsis what we discussed and what we achieved here today.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, alongside his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, visited the Olushosun dump site in furtherance of his pledge to improve the environmental situation as contained in the first executive order on environmental and sanitation matters signed recently. Speaking during a visit to the dump site, the governor expressed the possibility of the return of the monthly sanitation exercise after wide consultation, expressing his desire to expand the dump site to 42 acres to accommodate more wastes for many more years.
My mission is for us to see things as it is. With our own eyes, we've made commitments, electionary commitments to Lagosians. Yesterday, we actioned some of those commitments by signing off an executive order. Today is also for us to continue to validate that whole exercise. So we're here at Olushosu dump site, which is a major dump site for Lagos State, where we receive about 70% of the waste from the entire Lagos metropolis. So it's important for us, us meaning His Excellency Deputy Governor is here with me, and the head of service, and of course, the MD of Loma, to take us around this facility. It's a facility that is 28 years old, right? And for us to ensure that the facility still has a capacity to receive waste for the next 2 to 3 years, or thereabout. But we also need to come and see for ourselves where the issues are. And what are the takeaways? The takeaways are that there's a lot of security issues around here. The number of scavengers and people that are doing one form of illegal or legal things, there's so many. So we need to also take some very proactive decisions. Right? We have said that we're going to look at the cost to see how we can fence the entire facility. It's about 42 hectares all in all. To see it, that's the amount. To see how we also can improve the road condition, improve the hard road condition on my right and on my left, just so that the compactor trucks can have a quicker turnaround time, right? It's a rainy day, you can see, so it's taking them a longer hour, right? They certainly should be able to come in here within an hour and get out, so that they can go and pick some of the refuse. But the major interesting thing is there's a building that we're building at the entrance there, which is going to be called the Resource Center. The whole idea is that in here, right, they'll begin to train and retrain people, youth, that we can convert this place to an employment generating center, right? It's also supposed to be a waste sorting center, right? So some of those things, if we can get them right, half of the waste that is coming here now need not come here because they will have been recyclable. They will have gone to various factories, or places where they are required. So it just still goes to the fact and the things we're talking about, that waste sorting is the way to go. Waste recovery is the way to go. And that's why I kept appealing and saying that we should start waste sorting from our kitchens, from the tenements, right? That's how it's done everywhere, and that's what we're going to enforce and ensure, right? We'll be working with Loma to design waste sorting bags, where we're going to have different colors for different items of sorting. I'm believing that within the next 1 month, we will have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of those bags that we can begin to distribute to Lagosians at the first instance. Right, to begin to distribute to Lagosians at the first instance, right? We'll see how that goes, right? We'll see what the cost comes to that, so that we can put, a proper strategy in place to end all of this indiscriminate waste throwing. So we're here today, right, to validate our commitments, to say that we're not just armchair politicians or armchair executives. We're here to see things for ourselves, and we know what the issues are. Right, and we're also speaking to people that do not have any business here, that the time is getting shorter and shorter for them. because for security concerns, we also need to clean up this place. But we also need to create jobs for them. So once we finish some of those centers, we will empower some of them to become waste sorters, to become waste generators, so that they can earn some living for themselves. There's money in waste if we can just get it right. And I want to also commend our PSP operators. They are our partners, they are stakeholders, right? They have stayed with us at thick and thin, right? And so we're also doing what we call a need assessment exercise for them, where we've asked somebody to go around and truly really find out what are their issues, what are their shortcomings in terms of equipment, what are their logistic challenges, and let us solve this whole thing, holistically, right? The final thing I'm going to say is that I think we're going to ask Lagosians, and I think you are going to help us. Let's ask Lagosians, do they want us to return the sanitation day that we used to have? We don't want to be an authoritarian government, so we want to ask Lagosians, right? I know what my own views are, but we're going to ask Lagosians. So let's also ask Lagosians and see that should we return the 3 hours one Saturday in a month to ensure that we'll have our sanitation day back, where we can clean up the city. I tell you, if you clean up this city, it's one of the most beautiful places you can ever live on. And I know we're going to bring back the glory of Lagos. Thank you very much.
Knowing fully well that a lot of work needs to be done in resolving the problems and reshaping the landscape of the state without dilly-dallying, the new man at the heart of the Center for Excellence, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has initiated the process of prompt dispensing of machineries to fast-track the actualization of the mission and vision of his administration. And that's it on the governor this week, but then you can continue with conversations of the governor's activities on all the social media platforms showing on your screen. Until next week, I am Lekan Onabanjo.